growing up, the Spartan hockey team, they were just like heroes to my brothers and I. We'd come and watch the games, and when they'd score and that red light would light up, it was just the coolest thing to see. And it's something I've known my whole life. I've been walking around this rink since I was 2-3 years old, and you can call me a rink rat, I suppose, but it was just part of my life growing up, and I've been bleeding green since I was born. I grew up in a small town called Holt, Michigan, right next to Lansing. I grew up with 2 older brothers and a younger sister. My brothers and I, we played hockey since a very young age, 2 or 3 years old.
We had season tickets to all the MSU hockey games, so all the kids started going with us to the MSU hockey games before they could ever remember. So we had so many good memories, and Brennan just became absolutely obsessed with MSU and the players, and it was just a big dream for him from the very beginning.
All these players that we love so much, like Ryan Miller, John Michael Lyles, Brad Fast. Michigan State hockey was definitely a huge influence, and every time I was on the ice at Munn, I always visioned myself, playing with the Spartans and maybe one day wearing the green and white. So that inspired me to work towards my goal. My brothers did play, and I was always trying to keep up with them and compete with them.
Brennan probably started the youngest, I'm guessing 5 or 6 years old, and I was his coach for quite a few of the years.
My dad was always very motivating and pushed me to be my very best. We had a basement shooting room, and he'd send me down there and make sure I did so many 100 pucks a day shooting. And I remember when I was 2 or 3 years old, when my dad wasn't home, whether it was my mom or my grandma was over babysitting, I'd be down there even shooting on her. She'd play goalie, and I'd shoot on her for hours, and every time I scored, I'd be singing the fight song with my rollerblades on.
1,000 black marks on the walls of the basement. He would, if I started to leave the basement, I can't play anymore, Brenny, I gotta go upstairs, he would throw his arms around my legs and just cry and beg me to stay down there.
Well, having 4 kids and three boys in travel hockey, and then our daughter gymnastics and other things, that every weekend we had 4 kids going 4 different directions.
They would play in 3 different states some weekends, so we had to help out. Mom would go one way and Dad another, and Grandpa and I would take Brenny usually wherever he had to go.
My parents, even my grandparents, have done so much for me. My grandpa was a huge part of my life. He would drive me everywhere and even pick me up from school and drive me down to Detroit.
It was just nonstop. I took care of him from the time he was born, until he left during his, I believe his senior year of high school, and played for the K-Wings. So that's tough for a young kid to leave home. And we were packed and headed to go to his game in Minnesota, when my husband suddenly passed away of a heart attack. And all the family was home except Brennan by himself in Minnesota. So I went anyway. So 2 days after John passed away, I was with Brenny, so he wasn't alone with no family. And he played hockey, and his coach let him come and sleep in my bed, and we held hands. And those kind of moments you just don't match in life.
2-on-1 right now. Here we go. Spartans into
Come
the
on.
zone. Drop it
Yes!
back to Sanford. He scores! Brennan Sanford.
Opportunity for State. 2-on-0. They shoot. They
The
score!
goal line just out of the
Come
reach
on,
of
come on.
Woods.
Yes!
Over the far side. Goal for Michigan State. Brennan Sanford got the
Playing here is something I was genuinely always working towards. It was always in my mind that if I were to play college hockey one day, I wanted to play here. And once it became a reality, I was playing for the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders in the USHL, and I was talking to the coaches at the time, and when it all kind of came together, it was a dream come true.
We didn't care if they're in first place, last place, who the coach was. You know, we've always been a Spartan family, and quite honestly, we never had a second choice. We never even talked to another team. Our goal was to somehow play at Michigan State.
It's still hard to believe. It's so exciting every time that he steps on the ice, and we always try to make it for warm-ups, and you know, even that is unbelievable. It's just hard to believe that he plays for Michigan State.
John took these boys to hockey. I mean, thousands of hockey games. We had season tickets back in the old demonstration hall rink. My dad was a friend of Emil Bissoni and even Mariucci's. So hockey's been in our blood, but if there's one thing that John would have enjoyed had he lived longer, would have been to watch Brenny play at MSU. It just would have been a dream come true, and he missed out on it, so hopefully he's got the best seat in the house.
Honestly, it was a lot of relief. I felt like, you know, my family's done so much for me in my life with hockey, and for me to be able to get a scholarship to come to Michigan State and play, you know, traveling so much as a younger kid and finally coming back, I can literally say I play in my backyard.
Hey, I just said good spacing, so you were so close to him that you couldn't get the pass. Be like 20 feet behind him so you can pick up the puck. We never cycle like this. We always cycle on this side of our body so we can protect the puck. Okay? Hey, come in. So that was good. I just want to see a little more spacing, all right? So give him, you know, an extra 5-10 feet so we can cycle the puck without you being jammed up in him, all right?
I came to the MSU hockey camps in the summers, and you know, those guys are idols to me, and now I'm a part of it, and I've been doing it for the last 4 summers, and I can see how those kids look up to me, and you know, I was one of those kids at one time, and to give back to those kids, it's just awesome. It's almost reliving what I was doing, and now to actually be here, it's the dream come true.
That's a great picture. Thank you very much.
It's coming out. Go Green.
It's a great sense of pride for all of us. I love that he does the community service, and he really enjoys that. He loves kids, and he loves to see the junior players grow up and, you know, hug them, shake their hand, and inspire them, you know, to do well in hockey and basically everything else in life.
Ben, look. Pick it up here, cycle it down in the corner.
You'd like to see, you know, guys from around here come in, and there's a little bit extra pressure, you know, and your family's always here, and your friends here. You went to high school right in the area, and you like to see guys like that thrive, and he can tell the guys, hey, you know, what this weekend series means, or, you know, think back to a series in the 90s or early 2000s, or when the team won the national championship in 2007. Those stories really move the culture along, and we need that passed on from generation to generation, and I think the guys that are local do a great job with that.
Hockey is more than a game. It teaches so many life lessons: self-discipline, teamwork, leadership. Playing for Michigan State, it's more than just a team. It's more than just playing a game. It's, you know, you're playing for something. You're playing for the community. You're playing for the university. It's more than just your individual success or even your team success. You're playing so you can hang up banners in Mon and bring championships back to East Lansing.